I never imagined that the most painful betrayal of my life wouldn't come from a stranger, but from my own family. At 63 years old, I had already buried my husband, raised my son alone, and sacrificed everything so he could become a successful man in America. I used to tell myself proudly, "My son is my reward." His name was Daniel. When he married Ashley, I welcomed her like my own daughter. I even moved into their suburban Texas home to help with their newborn baby. Everyone praised me. "You're lucky your mother lives with you," neighbors told Daniel. He would smile politely, but slowly, that smile faded. Ashley didn't like my presence. At first, it was small things. The way she slammed cabinets when I entered the kitchen, the way she rolled her eyes when I spoke, the way she corrected me in front of guests. Still, I stayed quiet. I told myself, "She's young. Marriage is stressful. I'll adjust." I cooked. I cleaned. I babysat. And every month from my late husband's pension, I received one $200, which I kept carefully in my purse. Cash I used for my medicine, small gifts and emergencies. I never imagined someone inside that house was watching my purse. One afternoon, I returned from my doctor's appointment earlier than usual. The house was quiet. Too quiet. As I walked toward my bedroom, I heard a sound. A zipper. I froze. That sound was unmistakable. My purse zipper. My heart began pounding. I quietly stepped closer and peeked through the slightly open door. What I saw made my knees weaken. Ashley was sitting on my bed. My purse lay wide open. Her hand was inside it. She pulled out my cash, counting it. 100, 200, 300. My breath caught in my throat. Then I saw something worse. My son, Daniel, stood near the doorway. Silent, watching, not stopping her, not saying a word, just standing there. I stepped inside. "Ashley?" My voice trembled. She jumped. Daniel turned pale. Ashley quickly shoved the money into her pocket. "Oh, you're back early," she said, forcing a smile. I looked at Daniel. "Why is she in my purse?" Silence. Daniel looked down. Ashley crossed her arms. "We needed money. You don't contribute much anyway." My ears rang. "That's my pension," I whispered. "That's for my medicine." Daniel finally spoke. "Mom, don't make this a big deal." That sentence shattered something inside me. Not the theft, not the money, but the fact that my own son thought my pain was inconvenient. That night I cried silently in my room. I didn't sleep. I kept asking myself one question again and again. When did my son stop seeing me as his mother and start seeing me as a burden? I had no idea this was only the beginning. The next morning my purse felt lighter, not just in weight, but in dignity. I counted my money. $600 was gone. When I confronted Ashley politely, she laughed. "You're old. Maybe you forgot how much you had." Daniel stood beside her, silent again. From that day on, something changed. My food disappeared from the fridge. My laundry was left untouched. My presence became unwanted. Ashley began controlling everything. "You shouldn't sit in the living room during the day. You're using too much electricity. You should stay in your room more." My own home had turned into a prison. Then came the worst humiliation. One evening, guests were over. Ashley loudly said, "Some people live off their children shamelessly." Everyone looked at me. Daniel said nothing. I excused myself and locked my room. That night I made a decision. I would leave, but I needed my documents and savings. I hid my remaining money inside my old suitcase. 2 days later, the suitcase was opened. Empty. Every dollar gone. This time I confronted my son directly. "Daniel," I cried, "please." "I am your mother." He exploded. "You're always acting like a victim. Ashley is my wife now." That sentence told me everything. I realized something terrifying. I had lost my son and didn't even know when it happened. That night I called the only person left in my life. My younger brother Michael, who lived in another state. He listened quietly. Then he said one sentence that changed everything. "Pack your things. I'm coming tomorrow." When Michael arrived, Ashley smirked. "Running away already?" I didn't respond. As I walked out, Daniel didn't hug me, didn't stop me, didn't even look up from his phone. But as I crossed the doorway, I whispered, "I hope one day you understand what you let happen." I left with nothing but my dignity. Or so I thought. 6 months later, My life had changed completely. With my brother's help, I found peace. I laughed again. I slept without fear. And slowly I healed. Then one evening my phone rang. Unknown number. It was Daniel. His voice was broken. "Mom, please help me." Ashley had emptied their joint account, taken the car, filed false accusations, left him drowning in debt. Now he wanted his mother. The same mother he watched being robbed. I listened quietly. Then I spoke calmly. "Daniel, I already paid the price for loving you too much." Silence. "I forgive you," I continued. "But forgiveness doesn't mean returning to pain." He cried. But I didn't go back. Because some lessons come too late. Weeks later, I heard Ashley was arrested for fraud. The same hands that stole from me had finally been caught. As for my son, he now visits occasionally. Respectful, quiet, different. Sometimes he looks at my purse and quickly looks away. Because guilt never truly disappears. It only waits. And every time he sees me, he remembers the day he stood silently while his mother was robbed.